Hello.
Hi, Miss Epka.
How are you?
I'm I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're good. That's nice to know. Everybody healthy in your household?
Yeah, annoying, but yes, healthy.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Monica.
Hello.
Good to see you. Hi, Connor Lee. How's everything going for you? We'll wait a couple minutes just to get everybody in, okay? Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see everybody. We'll be starting the warm up at 27. So if you want to pull up that document and get ready, that would be fantastic. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Kirsten. Keon, good to see you. Connor Gray. Anaya. Killian, good to see you. Connor, glad you came. Kathy, good to see you. Aiden, always a pleasure. Hi, Zach, Rodrigo. Good to see you guys.
Morning.
Hi, Tyra.
Hello.
Hi, Skylar. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the warm up. I'm going to present my screen to you guys and you'll be able to see that warm up. I have put in some grades that I told you that I was going to hold. Reason I held them out a little bit is because I wanted everyone an opportunity to get them done. And I was worried about putting them in the last 9 weeks and having more failures than I already have. So I pushed them into the new 9 weeks, hoping that you would take me up on getting them done so that you could start your new 9 weeks on a better foot. So hopefully you have thought about that and given it some consideration and will get those assignments into me. So I'm looking here at the new 9 weeks. So monkey bread, I'm still missing 5. For warm-ups for the last time that we met, 11. The self-assessment score, I'm missing 6. And the lifestyle choice for wellness, I'm missing 7. So if you could get those in, that's going to benefit you and your overall grade at this moment in time. And eventually, I think we talked about before that they are going to be changing the late work policy, I know it's not going to be the same as it is when we're in school, but there's still going to be some kind of a consequence if your assignments are not in on time. I just don't know exactly what that is at this moment. Okay. So here we go for our new set of warm-ups. Make sure you have caps and ends, complete sentences, that you do not Google them, that you give me your best guess. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. You're doing N1 only. What are the high and low points? Oh, whoops, this is the other one. Hold on. What did you think about the top 10 killers and what surprised you? So just give me a reflection on kind of what you thought from the last time we met. And here we go. And
I think you said we were going over that today because I don't think we finished going over it.
yeah, we aren't 100% done with it, but just kind of, maybe look at it as a reflection of those top 10 killers. Which one did you surprise you that was still in the top 10? Or what surprised you about those top 10, So maybe look at it more of a general reflection instead of like something a little more specific. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just making sure that you knew we were going over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. I was aware. All right. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. I appreciate that. Don't ever not tell me because more than likely I wouldn't have remembered. But this one time I did. Surprisingly. 'Always try to make sure you guys are doing the warm-ups with us because it leaves less on your plate for once class is over. If you do it with us every time we do them, easy peasy, done. Check it off the list. But if you don't do them when we do them, then that's another thing you have to add to your to-do list. And they're so simple. 2 minutes, that's it. You get 2 points. "30 seconds. Try to finish up." Okay, time is up. So go to your leading causes of death worksheet and we'll finish this up and put it to bed and get it turned in. Okay. So I'm just going to recap for anyone that didn't show up the last time. So basically this first table right here is the leading cause of death for your age group. We call you guys adolescents, and we had individual guesses, which is why mine is not filled out. And then we had group guesses. So I just kind of asked the group what they thought number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were. And so this was our group guess. And then the yellow is the actual answers. And we didn't match up on any of them. So we were kind of off on this. But remember that accidents is the leading cause of death for your age group. And I think I showed you a table that kind of talked about the specifics of that, so that you could see exactly, what accidents and things like that. All right. And then we move down to our leading causes of death for our general population. And we learned that these are the 10 top killers. the CDC has not put out a updated list, so this goes back to 2017, but I'm sure we're going to see some movement in the next couple years if they were to update the study. We may see some things drop off the list and some things added into the list. So I am going to give you the correct top 10, and you are going to need to write those in. But before we do that, which one did you choose as your top one? Did most of you have cancer? Is that what the majority of you thought was number one? Can I get like 4 people to tell me what their number one was?
Mine
That's what
was
I picked.
ours was heart disease.
Okay, one was heart disease. Who else was that?
I had cancer for number 1 as like the
Okay.
individual.
Okay, so cancer and accident. What's another one? Did anyone else have anything other, or was it between cancer and heart disease was your top?
I had lung disease.
Okay, lung disease. Anyone else have anything different besides those
I-
3?
I had diabetes.
Diabetes, okay. Any other? Okay, so you were to answer these questions below, explaining your number one killer answer. So for diabetes, why did you choose that as your number one? What was your reasoning? Who was my diabetes?
Me. I chose it because that's the thing that I hear about the most, and it also runs in my family. So
Okay,
I chose
so
that.
you related it to life experience. Okay, what about who chose lung cancer? Why? What was your reasoning?
I chose it because of the amount of people that smoke and vape in the world.
Yes, that's it. So again, just, your visual perception of what you're seeing and hearing about. Good. Who chose, what was the other one? No, I'm sorry, cancer and heart disease. I was thinking there was another one, maybe not. Okay, so why did you choose cancer? That was either, let me guess, Connor, Hess, or it was Zach. Am I warm? Or am I not warm?
No, that was me.
Killian, dang it, that was going to be my other guess, but then I couldn't remember. I was like, oh, what is that name? Okay, yes, Killian. Go
I
ahead.
just put it down just because I know a lot of people that have had cancers. Like they were
Okay.
older, and
Okay.
I just know that it's a big thing. I guess I don't know.
I think you hear a lot about it too, and you most definitely hear about it more in families, I would think. Like you always have like genetics. You're like, oh, my aunt or my uncle or my grandpa or experienced that. And then who chose heart disease?
I did. I just picked it because I just thought a lot of people got it.
Okay. All right. And what do you think was popular 100 years ago on this list? What do you think was killing people? What do you think was number one 100 years ago?
I said influenza.
Is this Tyra?
No, this is Ember.
Ember. Okay. I'm trying to hear voices because that's the only way I can identify you guys. Yes. So why do you think so?
Because they didn't have the amount of like shots we have now to prevent it.
Yes, very good. Modern medicine, right? Okay, awesome. So let's go through your top 10 and see how close our whole group got to the correct answers. So you're going to want to write these in as I go through them. And then I'm going to highlight mine in yellow just to indicate that those were the correct answers. Okay, so number one is heart disease. So I want to say that was Killian that told me that. And that is correct. Did I do that right? Was it Killian? I think it was. Anyway, 647,000 deaths from heart disease. 2 is cancer at 599,000. Accidents are number 3 and this drops quite significantly. It's down to 169,000. 4 is chronic or lower respiratory disease, which I simplified as lung disease. So that would be our 4. Number 5 is stroke. Does anyone know how you would define a stroke? What's a stroke?
Isn't it where you like stand still or something like that? Like the body like freezes up. Isn't it where you like forget like how to like walk and stuff?
Okay, you are on the right track. Do you know what part of the body is affected by it?
Isn't it your brain?
Right, it's in your brain. So basically, if a person has a heart attack, that means that this is something we're going to get into a little bit, but on the outside of the heart, there's these blood vessels called coronary arteries. And when someone has a heart attack, the coronary arteries are clogged. Okay, so there's a lot of coronary arteries that go around the heart and feed the heart muscle, but those are one of them is clogged, or more than them. So are clogged. In the brain, one of your arteries is clogged, okay? And that causes a stroke, okay? So there's a vessel in your brain that gets blocked and it causes a stroke. And in an x-ray, like if someone were to take a picture of your skull, you can see where the stroke occurred on your brain. Like there's like a little needle point of where the disruption was and where tissue had died because of that stroke. And some people will experience the effects of this stroke the rest of their life. Some people will experience the effects of stroke for a short period of time. Some people may experience some parts of the stroke, like I know someone that has had a stroke and they still have like maybe some facial numbness, but when the stroke occurred, they couldn't speak. Part of the side of their body was numb, and not all of that is still occurring, but they're still having a residual effect, and that is, that part of their mouth is still numb. And so that can do that. But I think whoever was speaking about it, you are thinking about the symptoms of what somebody experiences when they're having a stroke, and that is true. And then whoever chimed in to say what a stroke was is absolutely correct about that also. Okay, and then number 6 is Alzheimer's. Number 7 is diabetes. Number 8 is influenza and pneumonia. So that's still in the top 10, even though we have modern medicine and we have vaccines and things, that still kills people. And that statistic, I didn't read you the numbers, but for pneumonia and influenza, it's 55,000. And then number 9 is kidney disease. And then number 10 is suicide. Okay, so that's kind of where we are in our ranking when it comes to our leading causes of death. Okay. So since we finished this, I would think it would be a good idea to turn it in. So if you are ready for that, go ahead and turn it in. And that's something I'll be looking at in the next couple days to get in Power School for you. Okay, good enough? All right. So this is what I was looking at. I'll show it to you so you can kind of see. But this is from the CDC. And this is what I'm seeing, and it was last updated in 2017. They don't do this every year, so it's probably on a so many years, and then they do the what do you want to call it? They do the gathering of all the information and putting it on their site. So this is where we are, at least in 2017. All right, so again, we're going to continue with our PowerPoint, our Google slide, and as I, like on the slide, I just put those things that are what I feel are talking points or things that I think you should write down. And then I talk about what's on the slide, and you also need to listen to that just so that if I say something, like for example, when I put unhealthy lifestyle choices, I'm going to talk about that so that it hopefully makes more sense to you as a controlled factor. And we can go from there. But anything underlined is on your test pretty much. So you may want to have a document open that you can be jotting down information, because remember, you can use any notes that I've provided you throughout the next assessment. I just ask that you not Google, because Google is not taking the test for you. You are. And it's not what Google knows, it's what you know. So moving on. So factors that contribute to disease. We kind of talked about this when we did our pie chart the last time we were together, where we looked at what causes early death and disability. And we focused on personal lifestyle choices as being one that has a big significant factor on whether we have a disability or we die. And then we also had some other factors, like we had the environment, we had healthcare, we had heredity, that were all part of those, okay? And a lot of that stuff we can control. And so I'm just going to kind of talk about how that can be. But let's talk a little bit about risk factors first. So a risk factor is a characteristic or behavior that influences a person's chance of being injured or getting a disease. So if a person, like let's say we said heart disease, so what would be their risk factors? What would be their behaviors or choices that they would make that would lead to heart disease? That's a question to you. So what do you think? What would be the risk factors that would lead somebody to have heart disease? And I can only see the chat if I X out of my PowerPoint, so I don't know if anyone's chatting it up or what. Okay, so their diet can lead to heart disease, so that's a risk factor, a poor diet. Give me another one. What would be something else, like a risk factor that would lead to heart disease besides having a high-fat diet? What else is there out there? Is that the only that's the only way you can get heart disease is by, okay, thank you. It looks like you're, okay, go ahead, sorry.
If they smoke or drink at all.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And Zach, I appreciate you chiming in a couple times there, lack of exercise. Rodrigo, heredity, yes, very good. Okay, so those are all risk factors, things that can contribute to disease, okay?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
High blood pressure.
Okay, high blood pressure, but then you got to think of what leads to that. So hypertension, what's that? Natalie, what'd you say?
I was going to say high cholesterol too, but I guess it's
But how do you get those things?
probably by eating.
Yeah, so that would be the risk factor that would cause high blood pressure or cause, what else did you say? Diabetes? Oh, high cholesterol, you said. High cholesterol. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the slide, let me kind of talk a little bit about each of these talking points, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay. And then I am going to, I'll call class, well, I'm not going to call. We're going to work on the demonstration page too this time. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, and then we'll go to our demo page. Okay. Just so you know, just throwing that out there. All right, so unhealthy lifestyle choices are controlled, okay? So what you choose in your life can lead to heart disease, cancer, stroke. Lifestyle factors account for about half of the factors contributing to these diseases. So how you choose to live is going to determine whether you get heart disease or cancer or stroke, or what we call becoming a statistic. Okay. And so you need to kind of look at your life and what you want it to be about, and decide today how you're going to make it happen. Okay. Because, if you have heart disease in your family, if you have cancer and stroke, more than likely some of these are lifestyle choices that were made that have led to that. Okay. Not all of them have to do with genetics. The other one is poor environment. So a fifth, it relates to the state of the physical world around you. And I always bring this up too, where you work is a issue. If you choose to have a job that works with chemicals and things like that, you're putting yourself at higher risk. If you work on machinery, sometimes the chemicals that come off machines and different things like that can, lessen your environmental quality. I'm sure you've heard about 9/11 and all those firefighters that were working that day and thereafter, and a lot of them have died from lung cancer because of the chemicals that were still emitting off of that stack of all the building products, chemicals, all the things that came off of 9/11's buildings. That was a poor environment for them to be working in, but they chose to do that. That was a controlled thing that they chose to do. But unfortunately, it caused a lot of their demise because of those choices. Inadequate healthcare is controlled. 10%. Medicine is not an exact science. Doctors cannot always assess symptoms, and test results too easily reach a correct diagnosis. So lack of early diagnosis, lack of facilities, lack of modern medicine, poor management, and proper treatment. Patient is not getting regular checkups. They're not seeking treatment soon enough. They don't have the health insurance. Some people fear the doctor and they don't want to go. They don't want to follow the advice that they're given. They don't share the information that's needed to be shared so that the doctor gets kind of an idea of what they need to do to try to assess the situation. So all that can play a part. Diagnosis is the identification of a disease. So this is just something thrown out there, but it kind of speaks to this. It's not in a bad way, but I have a relative that we just went to the doctors and was diagnosed with strep throat and was given amoxicillin. And the amoxicillin caused a reaction, which caused a severe rash, which is known to be caused if the patient has mono. So that was a misdiagnosis because it's mono and not strep throat. And medicine was given that triggered a different response than it should have. And now the patient not only has mono, but now has to be treated for this rash. So that does sometimes happen. Heredity, 25% beyond your control. Genes you receive from your parents determine your body structure and other physical traits. If someone in your family has had cancer, you are at an increased risk of developing cancer too. These things cannot be changed, but you can be aware of your risk factors and react accordingly. Okay, so if I know that breast cancer is in my family, which it is, I can do whatever I can do within my control to try to lessen my risks. So that would be go to the doctor, seek my mammogram yearly, eat healthy, exercise, maybe get the gene test to see if I carry that type of breast cancer gene or genetics that they've been able to link to breast cancer and find out whether I have it or not. So my heredity is a piece of me, but I don't have to let it completely paralyze me thinking that I can't do anything about it. Okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to combat it the best I can with what I have available to me in this day and age. Okay, I'm not just going to throw up on my hands and say, oh, I'm just going to get cancer because all my family members get cancer. Okay, they might have gotten cancer because they smoked. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a hereditary thing. Okay, breast cancer is known to be somewhat hereditary, but I can make sure that I'm doing everything I can to make it less likely. Does that make sense? Okay, since nobody wants to respond, I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so health promoting choices. So studies have shown that you have much control over the factors that influence your health. Okay, so you can promote your own choices in life to live as long and prosperous life as possible. Okay, so you are in control of how the health of your life is going to play out. Okay, so if you're vaping right now, that's probably not going to be the best choice to be as healthy as you can be, because it's going to cause all sorts of problems health-wise. Okay, and the one thing about vaping and smoking is that you don't see the results of them immediately. If you did, you probably wouldn't be doing those types of behaviors, but you don't see them immediately. You think, oh, I'm not addicted. It's not going to affect me. I've done it once or twice. Big deal. Okay. But, nicotine is highly addictive, more addictive than some other substances and drugs that are known to be highly addictive. So, just think about those things. Okay. All right. Health promoting choices. What can I do to help promote health? Well, choose a healthy lifestyle. So let's talk about diet. All the food and beverages that you consume. The earlier you begin to make healthy lifestyle choices, the more you will decrease your risk of early disease. Okay. So, we all have our moments of weakness. That's totally understandable, but we're not having those weaknesses every single day, every minute of every day, every choice that we make. Okay. So try to make your choices good ones, and have a little fun every once in a while. Provide the body with fuel throughout the day. So, feeding your body with healthy foods, especially at your guys' age, because you are still growing and developing. I don't have any hope for me in some ways, because I've already, I'm old enough to where I'm starting to see how those choices have influenced my life. You guys are at that point where you can make those choices now to, live longer and have a more prosperous life. Supply your body with needed nutrients to support health, growth, and development. 8 to 9 hours each night. I mean, I'm a grown adult and I need 8 to 9 hours each night, and as you age, I don't know if you have grandparents, but it seems like they have more sleep troubles than, someone like my age or your age. Not that they don't exist, but you just don't see them as readily being an issue. But, sleep is really important because your body is able to kind of shut down and work on things that it needs to in sleep. Maintain a healthy weight. Some of you will be looking at in our next little project that we're going to do about, we're going to do a case study of a young boy, and we're going to look at all his statistics, and we're going to find out whether he's at risk for heart disease. And one of the things we're going to look at is what is a healthy weight. So we'll be talking about that, and that way you'll know if what you are carrying around is healthy.
Miss Zepka.
Hi.
Can you go back to the last slide? I didn't finish typing.
I'm sorry. Is it this one, Nolly?
No, the one before that.
This one?
Yeah.
And remember, too, I have that YouTube channel, and it shows my PowerPoint basically going through it. So you'll be able to, go through it fast and find the 1 slides or 2 slides that you are behind.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, here's the one I just did, though. Here's the other one.
I got that one, too.
Oh, you did? Okay, good job. All right. So here's a little bit more on health promoting choices. Stay active for 60 minutes. So if you are doing something active for 60 minutes, like if you've, on the football team, if you're playing volleyball right now, if you are on cross country or in the marching band, if you're doing things that are active in gymnastics, swimming, I mean, there's lots of things that are going on right now. And if you are active, then that's good. That you're not smoking and vaping. There's always an opportunity for you to stop doing that. Avoid drinking alcoholic beverages. You're not 21, first of all. It is illegal. It's not going to help you grow in any way at this state in your life. And when you get to be 21, you get to make those decisions for yourself. Okay. Do not use street drugs. Carefully follow your physician's instructions when using prescription drugs. So if grandma's like, hey, I have an antibiotic, don't go to the doctor. You can just use my antibiotic. Remember that those were specifically diagnosed for her And they take a lot of things into consideration: her age, her height, her weight, what her ailments were. So you can't just think that it's okay to take someone's prescription medication, because it's not prescribed to you, and you can actually get in trouble for that. So make sure that you are taking your prescriptions and not someone else's. Also, over-the-counter medication should be also respected. So if it says take 2 tablets, that's okay. Don't take 4 unless you've, called your doctor and talked to them about it. So even though it's not a street drug, you can abuse medications. Although these behaviors may sound simple, many people fail to follow them. So don't take good health for granted. And make sure that you are, making good habits that are going to last a lifetime, so that, you don't allow yourself to become addicted or develop some bad habits. I think I got to reword that. That's a little goofed up. Okay. Whoopsie. Nolly, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Sorry for
Oh.
the slow
That's okay.
response.
You're
The whole
doing
meeting
fine.
was weird.
I'm appreciating you telling me. Okay, so continuing on, we got about 3 more of these, and then I'll move on to something else. But resisting negative peer pressure. The desire to be accepted leads to many teens to try activities their peers encourage. This can often be good, such as when friends invite one another to become involved with sports. That's a good thing. However, peer pressure is negative when it encourages people to pursue activities that can endanger their health. Teens who urge their friends to vape, drink alcohol, or drive recklessly are using negative peer pressure. Negative peer pressure may play a role in making accidents and suicide the leading causes of death among teens. You need to believe in your ability to evaluate the effects a choice will have on your health. I always say to myself, there's always going to be rewards or consequences for whatever decision you make in life. Okay? And we hope that the consequences aren't deadly or life altering. So when you are thinking about the decision that you're going to make, you need to think about that. Is this something that's going to be rewarding, or is this something that's going to be a consequence? Because therein lies the problem. You also need to be strong enough to say no to what you consider to be a poor choice, and be aware that people who have trouble resisting negative peer pressure may admire you for doing so, like resisting the peer pressure, And a lot of times, if you resist it, they will too, because they don't want to be the only one. Anybody on this slide? Or can I move on?
You can move on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Health promoting choices. So improving your environment, you can do your share to make your environment a healthful one. Carpool, cleaning products, make sure they're environmentally friendly. Handle food carefully. Remember with our foodborne illnesses, and you have the ability to choose government officials. Okay, so once you're old enough to vote, you have that ability. Choose quality health care. So choose facilities that can meet your needs and are approved by your healthcare provider. See doctors for regular checkups. So if you play sports, you should always be getting your physical every year, or you shouldn't be playing sports. Early detection of health problems is the best way to prevent serious illness. Describe symptoms completely and accurately, and always ask questions to be sure that you understand the symptoms and treatments. Kind of a sad story to share is I had a student one time that I had in class, and when they were a senior, very active in sports, always had a physical every year, you know, just all around in high school doing, whatever was out there and feasible for them to, be a part of. And what ended up happening was they detected a tumor in his brain, and it was undetectable. Like there would be no reason for them to detect something like that because there were no signs and symptoms. And that's when they figured out that there was a tumor in there. There was some vision problems, severe headaches, different things that would lead you to believe that there's something neurological going on. And so his senior year, he developed this brain tumor, and then it got to a point where they couldn't use chemo or radiation to shrink it. It was growing, and eventually he passed away from the brain tumor. So, and I'm not saying that, he did everything he should have done. He got his physical every year, and as soon as he started feeling unwell, he went to the doctors. But, hopefully this is just one isolated incident where something like this happened. It was kind of like, a very odd situation, but that's why you go to the doctors, so that, that they have a record of your health all through your life. They can go back and maybe, you came in for this ailment, and, it may affect you in this way, and that's why you're having these problems or these difficulties. So it's always a good idea. And unfortunately, men are ones that don't seek health care every year. Once you're done with high school, you think, oh, you know what, I'm healthy, I'm good, I don't need to go once a year. And because women bear children, we do tend to keep up with our doctor's appointments and see a doctor once a year, with breast cancer being an issue also. So if you're a male, I would encourage you to always seek a physical once a year, whether you're healthy or not. Okay, just like females, I'm sure that most of you at this age do that, but I'm getting up there in age. I almost told you my age, but I'm not going to do it. And I see a doctor once a year, every year, so even if I'm sick or healthy, I'm going to see the doctor. So make sure that you're always doing that and taking care of yourself, because that's part of it. Okay. Even though you feel healthy, it's a good idea just to go to the doctor and let them run the test that they want to determine whether or not that's true. And I think this is my last slide, and then we'll go to the demo. Okay, so nutrition and wellness. You will have these on your test, nutrients and nutrition. So it might be a good idea to just kind of jot them down as you are going through the slides. But nutrition is the sum of the process by which a person takes in and uses food substances. And that's what we're going to kind of diverge out into, is talking more about nutrition. And nutrients are the basic components of foods that nourish the body. Does anybody know what the 6 basic nutrients are? What are the 6 basic nutrients? Nolly, you should know this. 6 basic nutrients. Who knows them? Who knows one? How about just one?
Protein, vitamins, carbohydrates.
Good girl. That's 3.
I don't. Well, let me think. I don't think minerals are part of it.
Yes, minerals. Good.
I don't know.
Does anyone know the other 2? She
I
said,
know one of them's fat.
yes, good job.
And I believe water. Yeah, water.
Good job, Tyra. Excellent. Correct. So the 6 basic nutrients are fat, protein, carbs, vitamins, minerals, water. Out of those 6, where do we get calories from on a food label? Tell me that one. Where do the calories come from?
Carbohydrates.
Okay, carbs are 1. Where else? What else is giving us the calories besides carbohydrates?
Sodium?
Nope.
Fat.
Is it fat?
Yes, thank you guys, both of you. Correct. Fat. And then there's one more. Some people think it gives them big, strong muscles.
Protein.
Yes, good job. Okay, so on a food label where you get calories is when you look at the fat, protein, and carbohydrates. That's the calories on a food label. Okay, just as a sidebar. Okay, so epidemiology is the study of incidence of disease in a population. So examples would be like eating meat and those who don't have, and those who don't. High fiber versus low fiber. So researchers can also compare diet and lifestyle patterns among cultures. So epidemiology, that is a career. If that's something that you're interested in looking into, the study of disease. Okay, so what have researchers learned from all their nutrition studies? They have learned that eating specific foods cannot cause or prevent certain diseases. However, they have found that following certain patterns tends to increase or decrease a person's chance of illness. For instance, studies have shown that eating sugar doesn't cause diabetes, but nevertheless, eating a diet high in simple sugars can increase a person's risk of becoming overweight, and this in turn can increase his or her risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So type 1 diabetes is when you're born with it, and type 2 diabetes is what we call adult onset, which means that because of how you have led your life and had a lot of, high fat foods that cause you to be overweight is going to possibly lead to diabetes. Okay. And the reason why they do say it goes in families, the type 2, is because you learn your eating habits from your family. And more than likely, if your father, let's say, has diabetes, you are still eating the same way that they have eaten, unless they may have made a drastic change in their life. And then you too have learned those habits. So you could possibly be at higher risk than, let's say, somebody else that's father is not diabetic. So those are some things to think about. Okay. So I'm going to pause on the Google Slides. I think we have maybe like 4 or 5 yet to go. Yeah, maybe 4. Okay. And I want to do those next time because I'm going to assign this other little project that we're going to do together. So I'm going to end here. Nolly, is it okay if I get off this screen, or if anybody else wants me to hold, let me know, because I would need to know now if I need to kind of put on the brakes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Alrighty. So now what I need you to do, let me get out of this, is in Google Classroom, okay, is Jack-o'-lantern grilled cheese. And your demo page, I need you to, this is the actual video right here. And then this is the finished product, okay? So don't watch the finished product thinking that's the video, because it's not. This is the video, and then fill out the demo page. Remember, the demo page is you doing it on your own. Do not copy and paste from somebody else's document. I'm not dumb. And I do recognize that there's a lot of words that are the same. Even if you switch out a couple, it doesn't necessarily mean that you still haven't plagiarized. Okay, so just do your own. It's not that hard to watch a video and then write stuff down. Just make sure that you highlight the answers to the questions, that you give me the amounts and the ingredients. These are just some common mistakes that continually happen. And I would like you to either bullet out your directions or number them out, because some people give me this huge run-on sentence where there's like no punctuation or division of when one sentence starts and another begins, and it's all a big mashup. So I think the best route to do would be try to do bullets or number the steps. I would encourage you to do that, okay? But it's not hard. It's an easy assignment. You should all be able to do it and get it in. It's due Friday, so make sure you try to hit that deadline. And like I said, they will be rolling out a new late policy. So as to when that is, I don't know, but it's sooner than later. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to turn on my camera here and get off presenting. The reason I turned my camera off, and I'm sure some of your other teachers do this too, is because I can access my documents and things a lot faster because there's this slowness that starts down, that happens when I'm on camera. So look at me right now. I'm going to hand you your demo page, and I want you to watch the video and I want you to work on it. Okay, right here, right now in real time. So you have 15 minutes. The video is 4 minutes long, so it shouldn't be that time consuming. And then you're going to fill out the demo page. I would do a side-by-side screen. So I got the video on one side and I got my document on the other, and I can pause the video and go to my document and write down, and then go back to the video and turn it on, and then pause it and go back to my document. That's how I would do it to make my life easy. But I don't know if you know how to split screen. I would assume you do. I mean, you know more about computers than I do. But if you don't, you can always stick around and I'll show you how to do it. But I want you here till 1:30 working on the assignment. And if you leave, then I want you to put in the chat that you're done. I'm going to go look at Google Classroom to see if it's turned in, and then I will dismiss you. But other than that, giddy up. Okay, let me check on that, you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Kian, I'm just looking at it really quick just to give any pointers if need be. Okay, Kian, you can go, and then Killian, let me take a peek at it real quick. Okay, Killian, all set. Monica, let me take a peek. Okay. Okay, Monica, you can head out. Kaden, let me just check it here. All right, Kaden, you're free to go. Yes, sorry, go. All right, so we'll just see you guys later. Take care. I'll hope to see those in Google Classroom.